My name is Genevieve and I have been doing YouTube for about 5 years now, and it has been one of the most challenging learning curves I've ever gone through in my life. But it has also been one of the most fulfilling processes that I've gone through. I feel like doing videos has taught me so much about what goes into making videos, but also it's taught me so much about myself. I think if you are looking to get into video making, if it is something that you felt inspired to try out, I cannot recommend it enough. And if you're looking for some advice to get started, this is the absolute best place. We're gonna be covering a lot in this video, so I'm going to have all the chapters listed down below, but we're gonna be covering equipment, filming, editing, sound effects, music, color grading, LUTs, and thumbnails, and probably a couple extra things that I'm gonna remember as I'm filming. First, we're gonna talk about equipment. What I would recommend to anyone just starting out, start with what you already have. Starting with your phone is the perfect option for when you're still determining whether or not you enjoy making videos. I think especially nowadays there's so much appeal to doing YouTube and video making content in general, but at the end of the day it comes down to whether or not you genuinely enjoy the work, because with the amount that you're doing it, if you are doing YouTube, you really gotta love it. I quickly decided to upgrade to my first camera. This is the first one that I started on. This is the Canon G7X Mark II. This is a perfect beginner camera. It has everything you need, but it's not too overwhelming, and it has a flip-up screen, which is perfect for vlogging, but also when you're learning how to set up shots. This is essential because if you're filming this way and I couldn't see myself, I wouldn't know where I am in the frame. So this is something that you definitely want to get. If I'm recommending one of the Canon G7X cameras, I would definitely suggest getting the Mark III because it has the port for microphones. This one doesn't, and that is why I decided to upgrade to my current camera, which is the Canon EOS 90D. Audio quality was something that I really wanted to improve, and I decided to get a Rode mic, and then I realized this camera is not compatible with microphones. So I actually got the mic before I got the camera. But the beauty of a camera like the 90D is that you can have interchangeable lenses. So I have two different lenses that I use for filming. The one that I'm currently recording on is the Canon zoom lens. This is actually the wide angle lens. It is the EFS 10 to 18 millimeter lens. So basically the smaller the number, the wider the lens. Currently I'm recording on 10 millimeters, so you're getting a lot of the background. I personally really love wide angle lenses. It's not for everyone, but I love it, especially for vlogging. But if I'm doing any up close shots or more artistic shots, I will use my actual zoom lens. This is the Sigma 18 to 50 millimeter lens. What I like about both of these lenses is they have internal stabilizers, so it's not going to get super shaky even if I'm moving around quite a bit when I'm filming. And you can also switch between autofocus or manual focus on the lens itself as well as the camera. As for my microphone, I use the Rode VideoMic Go 2. This was a really great budget-friendly microphone. This was only about $100 Canadian, which was perfect for me. And in my opinion, the quality sounds pretty great. Quickly, I'm gonna mention the microphone that I use for doing voiceovers. This is the Blue Snowball mic. I've had this for so many years now. It's super old, but it does work. And then I use a little pop filter to make the sound a little bit better. As far as tripods go, I would definitely recommend getting a tripod like this first. This is really great. They're affordable. I just got it on Amazon. This is a bendy tripod, and these are really great because you can get creative with how you're filming your shots. But I also recommend getting a tripod like the one I will show you right now. This is the Jolie-Can tripod. This is one that I found on Amazon with good reviews, and overall I would just recommend getting a stronger, sturdier tripod, especially if you're going to eventually be using a bigger camera, because this one can absolutely not support my 90D. It's pretty much for this camera alone. And also I will mention the 90D also does have a flip out screen. You can't see it, but I can see it. Now for lighting. When I am filming, I am using my ring light as my primary light. I'm usually using some natural light as well as my secondary light, which kind of more illuminates the background. And then I use ambient lighting, like you can see behind me. I have this little lamp and then my salt lamp. In my room, I also have different ambient lighting, and that just adds a extra element of beauty to the footage, I would say. So now moving on to editing. I started on iMovie first, and I would say that's really great if you're just getting into it. It has all the basics. It's pretty easy to learn how to use. But after about a year of using iMovie, I felt super limited with what I could do, and that is when I upgraded to using Final Cut Pro. I found that there is just so much more freedom with layering footage, layering audio, just cuts in general. You can make clips really short or really long. You can edit 4K footage. There's so much more freedom with color grading, video LUTs, transition, layering text, masking. There's just so much more to it. Honestly, Final Cut Pro is amazing and I can't ever see myself switching. First, for editing, I start out with what I call the rough edit. This is when I cut out any pauses, unnecessary footage, filler words like ums, buts, likes, all of that kind of stuff. That is what is going to make your video engaging and flow properly. If I am also editing a vlog, I will add in music as I go so then I can edit to the music. As far as your actual footage goes, I recommend focusing on showing rather than telling. If you are just explaining what you did or are about to do, it's less exciting to the viewer than it is to just actually film and show exactly what you are doing or did. But if you didn't necessarily do that, I also like to layer footage on top. That is what is called B-roll, and it just helps kind of fill in the gaps in your footage. So example, if I'm filming a vlog and I'm talking about how I'm about to journal, then I will layer the footage of me journaling over me explaining that I'm about to journal. Another super important lesson that I had to learn was quality over quantity. It is so much better to have a shorter video that is super well filmed and edited and engaging than it is to have a longer video that feels very dragged out. Not only is it just a better way to make videos, it is also going to help you as a creator, because if people are watching your videos for longer, then the algorithm is going to notice that and promote your videos to more people. Another thing I recommend is to watch and learn. Pretty much the only way I learned how to edit was because I watched so much YouTube. Such a big part of my learning process was watching my favorite YouTubers' content and trying to figure out how they did it. I would try to emulate different transitions, or I would try making the text look a certain way based on how they did it, and that really did teach me so much, and then I was able to really customize it to my personal style. I also recommend watching more movies, watching more shows, noticing how they carry out a storyline, because there is such a big part of video making that is like building a story. But seeing how they string footage together, how they do music, how they do transitions, all of that is super helpful. I focus on having an intro, I have the body of the video, and then I have the conclusion and the outro. It's almost like writing an essay, but instead it's with footage. Now to talk about music. By far, my best advice is to go through a music provider like Thematic or Epidemic Sound. Thematic is a free option, and Epidemic Sound, I believe, is about 20 to 25 Canadian dollars a month. But this is just going to save you so many headaches with copyright claims, and in the long run, it's gonna help you make more money through your videos if that is something that you're looking to do. But a lot of music that used to be copyright free at one point no longer is copyright free. So going through a provider is just going to help you avoid copyright claims in the future. And also, it just gives you so many more options for music. It's so much better, and you can really get unique with your sound. Speaking of sounds, now for sound effects. I like using pops and whooshes, and also sometimes like ambient sounds like water or birds or jungle sounds. Sounds kind of random, but I feel like it creates a more immersive atmosphere in your content, especially if you're filming outside. This is when I will go in after the rough edit is done and I will start adding in the extra things. So some of my favorite edits are crops and zooms. I also have really been enjoying doing reverse Ken burns at the beginning of clips because it kind of brings the audience in to the full picture. I just think it looks really cool. For text, I recommend using the website DaFont. They have tons of fonts you can download and install super easily, and then you can get really creative with how your videos look. But I also like mixing fonts. I feel like it just looks really creative and artistic, just something that I really enjoy. I like using the handheld effect and the underwater effect. Both of these can be applied to the footage itself or to texts or overlays, images that you add in, any of that kind of stuff. Now for video LUTs and color grading. I'm gonna show you some movie magic right now. This is what my footage looks like with nothing applied to it. Just the basic raw footage coming straight out of the camera. And this is what it looks like with color grading. And this is what it looks like with color grading and a video LUT. So as you can see, it takes my footage from looking pretty murky, pretty just bleh, to looking really bright and fresh and crisp. There's so many different ways that you can color grade, and there's so many different kinds of video LUTs, which are basically video filters. So you can really get creative and personalize it to your taste. For my video LUT, I use the Everyday Vibes video LUT pack from Julie Presets. I really recommend checking out that website. This isn't sponsored. I just stumbled across that site, and she has tons of different video LUTs. She also has like filters for Lightroom, which is really cool. Lastly, we're gonna talk about thumbnails. So when I first started, I was using Canva to make all of my thumbnails. I think that's a really great beginner-friendly option, but my personal favorite is using Procreate on my iPad. So what I will first do is take any screenshots that I want to use from the actual video, or if I took specific photos for the thumbnail, I will first edit them on my phone in Lightroom, and then I airdrop them to my iPad. You always want your thumbnails to be reflective of what content is actually in the video itself. And also, I like to focus on consistent colors. I feel like this just helps you develop a nice style and nice branding throughout all of your videos. So my colors are teal and pink, which you will have already noticed. So I like to experiment with different text positions. I will basically just move everything around until I find a configuration that I like. But with thumbnails, a general rule of thumb is you want things to be very bright and captivating. But at the end of the day, it really is just about playing around and seeing what you like, finding what works for you, and just having fun with it. I think it is a really challenging journey to go on, but it is so fun and so fulfilling. And no matter how much I've cried and had mental breakdowns over trying to learn something new in this process, I still would do it again every single time. So that is all of my tips and tricks for how I film and edit my YouTube videos. I really hope this helps you get in the right direction. I hope this helped you learn a couple new things. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss any content from me. Here's my Instagram as well if you'd like to see more content from me, and until next time, I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!